Well, still talking party tickets ahead of the 2027 elections. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) has thrown light on the decision to zone its 2027 presidential tickets to the south, dismissing claims that it was aimed at glorifying the FCT minister Nyesom Wike. The party's national publicity secretary, Debo Ologunnawa, gave the clarification on Wednesday when he was responding to questions.
Well, the PDP again, just like the APC, is playing the ostrich. It is certain that one man is so strong in the party. When they came off their meeting and said, they are not trying to pursue any individual, they were pursuing their interests and what will make the party to be strong. I think the average person who is discerning should be able to realize that the party knows that further fighting one man, whose name I honestly don't want to call again, would further deteriorate the already bad situation within the party, and every day matters. And 2027 basically is the priority. So they've said that we're not going to fight an individual. We're going to ensure that aggrieved members of the party are made to come back. They zone their, presidency to the south and all that. Honestly, they cannot clearly say they are trying to appease one man. But leaving that man out will always, for me, give them a better stead to move on, because they boast from the beginning, before the meeting of the PDP, that they were going to put modalities in place and implement those modalities against Nyesom Wike. At the end of the day, not a whip, not a mention of Nyesom Wike, in the course of the meeting. Rather, what we heard was that no single individual, we mentioned no single individual will be pursued, no single individual will be the talking point. Rather, they want to bring back all agreed members and all that. Well, there is wisdom in that, really, because while you're fighting yourselves, your enemies are gaining grounds. And the average Nigerian thinks that if a party is not cohesive enough, why should we trust such a party? You already know that the ADC is coming, and a lot of the party bigwigs are either in it or they are not yet. But again, it's going to take a chunk of the PDP at the end of the day. So I think there is wisdom in what they have done. Notwithstanding, I think they just have to realize that Nigerians know better. We are beginning to know their tricks well ahead of time.
Well, for the likes of Ologunnawa and other people who run the PDP today, I have a simple question this morning. If an Atiku Abubakar had remained in the PDP, would they be sounding the way they are sounding today? In 2023, they had an opportunity to say, this is what our law says. Atiku contested in 2019. The next presidential candidate should come from the south. But they weren't bold enough to look Atiku Abubakar in the eyes and tell him the truth. They threw the contest open, and today they are suffering the consequences. They are sounding this way today because an Atiku Abubakar has left that party. Now, the likes of Abba Moro, who is a ranking lawmaker of the PDP, just a few days ago granted an interview, I think that should be about 48 hours ago, during which he said that in 2023, fielding Atiku was a mistake. So for me, the PDP has realized that they made a mistake in 2023, and they have an opportunity to correct that mistake in 2027. The truth is, do they really have any other option than zoning their ticket to the south? The answer is no. All over Nigeria, there is this consensus that it is the time of the south, and that's because someone from the north completed an 8-year term, handed over to a southerner who is in his first term. So if the PDP wants to commit another political suicide in 2027, they can afford to do otherwise. But for me, they have no other option than what they are doing now, zoning their presidential ticket to the south, because of the consensus all over the country that The South would hold on to power for 8 years before it rotates back to the North. What Ologunagba is doing is just simply playing to the gallery. They don't have any other option than to do this.
Well, for me, I think the only place where or point where political parties have agreement is this dichotomy between the North and the South. And I mean, for different political parties to be talking about, North and South, when let's say you're in the PDP and the man who was there from the North was from the APC, I've always asked the question, how come we talk about North and South when the party that have been in power is not our own? Has there been an agreement or a constitutional stipulation somewhere regarding that? No. We have that, argument so many times, even in Abia here, where different parties will say because a party had been there for so long and is so and so person from so and so place, so it has to be the turn of the next place, even though the party speaking is a different party altogether. I thought such consideration should be within the same parties. If the APC, for instance, is saying, okay, Buhari has been there for 8 years, is from the North, and so it has to be the turn of the South. And indeed, we have someone from the South now. Fine and good. But how can somebody come from another party and say the APC has had it for 8 years? The APC is another party. Talk about your own party mechanism, your own party arrangement and considerations. Don't talk about the other party, except like I did ask earlier, there had been an agreement, not constitutional, between all the different parties that yes, even if we are fielding someone, because someone from another party had come from this region, we don't have to do this. Otherwise, it's foolhardy for me. Anyway, they have thrown up Patrick Abamoru, my own uncle, to be doing the dirty job for them. And so we hear the governor of Bochina saying, in the interest of the country, I'm putting my presidential ambition on hold and all that. Unity. Which unity? Una just dey fear one man. Ho ha!